Welcome back, YouTube, to another episode here at WILDMAN Lifts. I'm your host, WILDMAN. Now, on today's episode, I went to the gym and I was doing the continental clean and press with an axle bar. Basically, I take that implement from the ground, it stops on my belly, I mini power clean it to my shoulders, and then I press it overhead. Now, a lot of people ask me, why the heck do you do this? This looks very painful. And to tell you the truth, it's not. It is, but it isn't, because it's a good kind of painful where you're benefiting from it, and it definitely is uncomfortable. But still, a lot of people ask me, why the heck do I do this movement? What's the purpose of this? Now, there's two reasons why I do this. The number one reason probably is because I can't think of another movement on the planet that's best for overall strength. You literally have everything in this movement. So in my opinion, this is the best exercise to do if you want to build raw strength. And the other reason is because it's very popular in strongman competitions, and I really like strongman. And strongman, I believe, actually carries over into real life strength and to raw strength better than any other movements out there. So let's pop in on today's workout, and I'll show you what I'm talking about. Now, on today's episode, like I said, I'm going to be doing the continental clean and jerk for my strength giant set, where I pick it off the ground, get it to my stomach, mini power clean it, and I'm going to press it overhead 3 times. And I'm going to continue to do that until I build into a heavy weight. And since the continental clean and press is actually 2 movements, the clean and the press, I'm going to add jump ropes in there for my third implement for cardio and to warm up my shoulders and my legs and to get that explosive movement pattern going. And that's going to be the giant set for the day. Now just watch this lift. Whenever you need to pick something up and it's awkward and heavy, it's not going to be pretty, right? And the continental clean and press is the ugly stepchild when it comes to the movements and how beautiful the movement is supposed to look and how efficient it's supposed to look. Believe it or not, this is a very efficient movement pattern because it carries over into real life. And if you use the axle bar instead of the barbell, because axle bars are very thick in diameter, they do not have any give, and the ends do not rotate, and they have 0 knurling, it makes it almost impossible to lift. So if you're able to lift this implement and you're able to do it efficiently, when you go to pick up a heavy object, right, which could be anything. It could be you're helping your grandmother move out of her house and she has weird old antiques that you need to carefully pick up and get it out of the house and carry it. Or if you need to put something on the top shelf and it's heavy, this movement is going to carry over into all of that. Which is why my argument for the continental clean and press is always going to be the number one choice when it comes to building raw strength. It carries over into fighting, into strength sports, into regular athletic sports, and most of all, it just makes you an overall strong human being. So if you need to pick up somebody and press them away from you, this is the movement that's going to make you absolutely dominant. And I've proven it multiple times. And a lot of strength experts on YouTube who say the deadlift is the king of all strength movements, they're actually starting to drift away from that opinion now. And most strength experts now out there that have a lot of fame in their name, they're starting to actually lean more that the axle continental clean and press is the true determiner of overall strength. Now for my variation giant set, I simply just wanted to make sure that I was finishing off my shoulders. And I didn't really know which weight I wanted to go to. But this is one of my favorite movements to do because it builds overall shoulder strength and it takes away your ability to use your legs and your other body. That's a great movement to do after you do your overhead pressing from ground to overhead. And then I would just take those dumbbells and I would walk around the gym and then put them back on the rack. And no matter what weights I had as I went up in weight, I just continued to do that farmer's walk with whatever dumbbells I had. And I also did some jump ropes just to finish that off because jump ropes is a great way to warm up my shoulders and to keep my legs and conditioning up as I go through the workout. Now, the benefit of doing this with dumbbells instead of with a barbell or an axle bar is those things wiggle and move and you have to stabilize them. And when you add any stabilization where you have to really concentrate on keeping, in this case, the dumbbells stable as you're pressing, it's going to be very hard on your shoulders and it's going to make your shoulders a lot stronger because barbells are made to be lifted. Even the axle bar is made to be lifted in some degree. So if you're using the dumbbells and you have to get them up to your shoulders, it's going to be very difficult for your shoulders to stabilize it and to keep it in that A to B movement pattern as you're continuing up in the reps and getting heavier in weight. The hardest part for me for the seated dumbbell press actually is getting those dumbbells up to my shoulders. I can't even tell you how many times I've had to ask people in the gym to come over and to pick up a very heavy dumbbell, and I pick up one and set it on my shoulder, and then as I sit down, they give me the other one. And a lot of people just can't have and don't have the strength to pick up the dumbbells that I need help with. And there are some spotters out there that are easy to set up that you can do, and they have them all over. I have mat spotters myself that actually hook onto a barbell that you can pull out of a rack, and they're supposed to be good for your shoulders. But in my opinion, I think the best thing to do is to get efficient at getting those dumbbells up to your shoulders. And a lot of people might disagree with me with that, and that's okay. But I prefer to work out alone most of the time because I don't like people bothering me or asking me questions when I'm working out. And so I like to make sure that I can lift the dumbbells up to my shoulders because I don't want to rely on somebody else. And I actually do think that it does build overall strength, trying to clean those things from your legs up to your shoulders while being seated in an upright position. Now for the assistance giant set, I'm doing the Arnold press, and I was just using very light dumbbells since my shoulders were completely blasted. And basically all I'm doing is focusing on moving very efficiently to get that nice pump to make sure that I'm able to shape the shoulders so that they get nice and big. So this is a great exercise to do after you're done with the heavy strength portion. And I just continue to do those jump ropes to make sure I land on a nice easy number and to keep my heart rate up all the way until the very end. And for the accessory giant set, I was doing 3 rounds, and I was doing some heavy horizontal tricep extensions. And I like to do this on the machine. And yes, it looks weird and awkward. I'm using a lot of body English, but I'm trying to really overload those triceps with as much weight as I can. Sometimes I do that, and sometimes I go for the pump. But today I'm going for the strength. And of course, I'm doing those face pulls, because face pulls are the antagonistic movement to all these shoulders and keeps your shoulders nice and healthy as you're lifting heavy weights. And then I did some side delt raises with the band, just to make sure that if, somebody tries to jump on my shoulder or tries to take me down, I can flick them off me with just a flick of my elbow. So that's why I like to do these. They build really good shoulder strength. And then I finished off my core, since I worked my core a lot, by doing the continental clean and press, and with those farmer walks, by doing flutter kicks to really hit the lower part of the abdomen. And that was the entire workout for the day. All right, so I hope you learned more about the continental clean and jerk, specifically with the axle bar, and maybe you want to give this movement a try. I really appreciate everybody stopping by tonight, and I'll see you next time. Thank you.